G'day everyone, what is going on? It is your favorite producer from Down Under, Jhin, back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a dark ethnic sample, something inspired by PVLACE from 808 MAFIA, inside of FL Studio. But yeah, if you are new here, would greatly appreciate it if you do punch that subscribe button for me. And while you're at it, click that little notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload a video. Friendly reminder as well that I do stream live over on Twitch every single day minus Sundays, 8 PM to midnight Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you do want to catch up with the shenanigans over there, would really appreciate it if you follow me as well. But with that being said, let's get into FL Studio and let's deconstruct this sample. Okay, so here we are inside of FL Studio, and like majority of my samples, there isn't really that much happening. There's only 6 instances. And to begin with, we have a piano coming in from Contact, and that one is the Nior Felt riding on Hammer's Felt. Now the pattern with this one is really simple. We start in the key of A sharp, and the only thing that tends to change in this is just the bass notes, where we go from A sharp to F sharp, and then for the final bar, it drops down to F. When it comes to the top melody, as you can see, it just repeats for the whole pattern. Now we do work with the semitone step with this C sharp and C6, but other than that, with the really top melody, I just played something on my MIDI keyboard until we got something that actually sounded really catchy and really simplistic. But in context, this is what the piano sounds like. Now, as you can hear, it does have that ambience tone in the background of the hammers actually hitting the strings, because you actually look in the inside of a grand piano, when you press down a note, you actually see a hammer hit a string. Now, to make the piano sound a bit more human as well, we do change the velocities and we do strum some of the notes. That's something I can strongly suggest. If you want your pianos or any instrument to sound human, Alt-R and then Alt-S. Alt-R randomizes the velocities, Alt-S actually strums it. Going on to the next element, it comes in from Contact yet again, and this one is the Duduk Alto from Balkan Ethnic Orchestra, and we're just playing 2 notes, which is C sharp and then C. In context, it sounds like so. Now it sounds really thin because that's what I wanted with this one, and we do put a generous amount of reverb on it so it actually sits in the background as being used as an ambience tone. Other than that, the next instance that comes in, the next instrument comes from Arcade, and this one is the Shadow Flute from Drip, the one-shot kit. In context, this is what the flute sounds like. You see exact same pattern that actually plays in the next part of the sample as well, but I just wanted something that was a little bit catchy that can be used kind of as a little bit as ear candy, but gets stuck in your ear as well. The next element that comes in comes from Arcade yet again, and this one is a vocal. This one is the Red Lotus Bank from the Distant Voices, and we're just playing 1 note. That sounds like so. Yet again, pushed really far in the background, has a generous amount of reverb on it. I wanted it to be used more as an ambience. Then we go on to the bass, which comes from the Tri-Freeze Culture Kit Volume 2. And we're just playing a really simple pattern that follows the root notes of the piano. Now, to change it up a little bit so it doesn't sound boring, we do add a little bit of sliding notes with it. I kind of had a little bit of fun with this one when it comes to the sliding notes, but in context, it just sounds like so. As you can hear, really simple, not that much happening with this one whatsoever. The sliding notes just kind of make it feel like it's changing, so it's not really stale, you know, just 1 note following the bass line. But other than that, the last element that comes in comes from the Pennywise NF kit, and that one is the Whispers, and all that one is doing is this. It's really faint in the background, but that texture is actually one way that you can make your samples unique. It doesn't have to be whispers. It can be any sort of sound. It can be, you know, vinyl crackle. It can be rain. It can even be birds chirping. But certain textures are a way that you can make your samples sound more unique and just give it, you know, that signature sound, you know, so people hear it and they actually recognize it as your sample. Going on to effects with this one though, not that much is happening. With the piano, we do have a Valhalla vintage verb come in with the mix on 14%, decay on 2.4, and a 350 hertz cut, and an EQ where we get rid of everything below 80 hertz, and then we duck some of the bass that's around 130. The arcade, which is the float, we do have another reverb coming in, mix on 20%, decay on 2.4, and a low cut of 350. We do have an EQ just tidying it up, and an Arvox stereo where we actually make it a little bit louder because there were parts where it was really quiet and then really low. This is just kind of, you know, to level it out a little bit. The other contact, we do have an EQ coming in and a Valhalla vintage verb, mix on 20%, decay 2.4, low cut 350. The arcade, this one is the vocals. All we have on this one is just an EQ where we get rid of a lot of the lows and some of the highs, so it actually sounds, you know, really filtered. And then last but not least, with the whispers, we have nothing on it. Same with the bass, nothing on it. Now, everything minus the bass is getting routed to an instrument bus, which is this insert 6, where we have another reverb come in, mix on 30%, decay 0.6, and a low cut of 350. An RC20 with the preset Tri-Freeze. Now, if you do want to grab this preset, we'll be leaving a link to it down in the description where you can download it for free. This one actually comes from a pack of mine known as Nightmares Volume 1. Now, if you do want to cop that one, we'll be leaving a link to it in the description as well, available on my BeatStars for only $30, where you get a whole bunch of RC20 presets, a whole bunch of samples, one-shots, and FL Mixer presets as well. So if you do want to cop that one, would greatly appreciate it. A vintage chorus where we're using the second mode where it's on 80%, noise is on nothing, but the master wet dry is on 30%. Then an EQ where we get rid of anything below 90 hertz, so we actually have room for the bass. But yeah, that is the easiest way that you can make a dark ethnic sample inspired by Palace inside of FL Studio. But yeah, if you are new here, would greatly appreciate it if you do punch that subscribe button yet again. And while you're at it, flick that little notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload a video. Friendly reminder that I stream live over on Twitch as well, so if you do want to chuck me a follow over there, would greatly appreciate that one also. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next week for another video.